What's happening, Mia?
In our way. Mom's pulling a Karen.
Sierra.
Mom's pulling a Karen.
Denise is going to get our apartment figured out.
Because it's disgusting.
What's disgusting about it?
It wasn't clean. There's a Dutch Bros cup right outside of our door.
That's been there for months.
Yes.
The carpet is completely trash. Stains everywhere. There's trash everywhere.
It's gross.
It's gross.
Nothing was swept. Nothing was mopped. We got spammed all week with emails saying that they were going to clean for all the new residents. They did not. They lied.
Liars.
They did lie.
Lying's a sin.
Don't lie. Friends don't lie.
Management companies do.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey listeners, ever wonder what it would be like to sell everything and travel the country at the tender age of 50? Well, with our last kid off to college and the ability to now work remotely, we've decided to do just that. So we're selling the house, loading up the dog, and hitting every city from California to Florida. We're scouring the country for a new place to call home and dragging you into every restaurant, Airbnb, and tourist trap we encounter along the way. This is the Skiptown All-Stars podcast.
What's up, All-Stars? Welcome back. You guys probably thought that you were going to get Denise and James, like always. But today is a special Utah takeover with me, their middle child, Mia, and my roommate, Sierra.
Hello, everyone.
So, we'll have Sierra.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Sierra. Like Mia said, I'm from Denver, Colorado, kind of. I'm from Castle Rock, but it's right between Denver and Colorado Springs. I moved from Virginia, actually, when I was going into 6th grade. So whatever age that is, I don't even know. But yeah, I went back to elementary school for a year in Colorado and then graduated high school from there. And I came back to Utah because all my family is here. And I met my bestie. So this is where we're at.
Yes, she is the roommate that I was talking about a couple of episodes ago, the one that I was moving in with. We were not roommates last year.
No, everyone thinks that we were, but we were not, actually. We
No.
just became besties immediately.
Yes, so now we're roommates and we're still besties for anyone.
Yeah, we don't
wondering.
hate each other. We do not hate each other yet. So,
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well done.
Thanks.
I must say, yeah. I just want to mention for the listeners at home, the audio is going to sound a little bit different. I purchased some new cameras for the video portion of the pod that everybody watches on YouTube, which is great. We were not planning on doing a podcast while we were here for Parent Weekend, but since the cameras arrived and since we're so comfortable in this Airbnb, I just have stuff shipped here all the time. I figured, why not? We have the girls, we have a captive audience, and poor Denise, she's feeling a little under the weather anyway. So
I went to urgent care a couple days ago.
She's being a trooper, everyone knows.
She is being a trooper, but after urgent care and everything, we needed a little bit of an assist. That's obviously where you two came in. Well done on the intro for the show.
Thank you.
Very happy. I think you both have a future in podcasting.
No.
I don't
We'll
think
see.
so.
We don't know yet. We just started.
That's
You
right.
could be a podcast star after
We'll see how we
True.
feel in an hour.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, in an hour, we'll see.
Nice. But you mentioned at the top that you're from Castle Rock, Colorado.
Yes.
And I actually, after our conversation when we went to lunch yesterday,
Yes.
I actually looked up a few things about Castle Rock because you said it was really growing.
It's insane. It's becoming a new city. Like, I'm sitting in traffic to drive 5 minutes to get out of my neighborhood.
That's
It's
stinks.
terrible.
The percentages support your argument because, I don't know if you're aware, but it's 30% higher in population than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that
So,
does not surprise me one bit.
And looking at bestplaces.net, it ranks pretty high. I mean, it's like a, 3.5, 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's actually a tough website, but crime is lower than the national
Yes.
average.
Yep.
Your nonviolent crime, theft, all that
Yep.
stuff, lower than the national average.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
By about
surprising.
10%, actually.
You've been robbed.
No, but a lot of people in my neighborhood have.
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
Like breaking into cars all the time.
It could be all the newcomers, and we could be
Garages.
waiting for those stats to come
Yes.
out. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but the other thing that supports your argument is I realized a 3+2 on at least a half an acre of land shoots up above 1.2 million.
Yeah,
It's an expensive place to live.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And I mean, like, it's great if you're just starting your family. Like, we have great schools and, like, it's
How
really...
can you afford it if you're just starting? a
Exactly.
family?
That's the thing.
It's
You
impossible.
cannot. Like, we had one house across the street from me is on the market right now for 1.15 or something. Then my neighbors across the street that were going to move were selling for 1.3. Then they didn't get as much money as they wanted. So then they actually just didn't move away and are now just staying.
Okay.
Because they were like, well, we didn't get the money that we wanted. And I'm like, guys, you got offered $1.35 million. What else do you need? Like, come on. But, and then a house behind me sold for $500,000 over asking and sold at 1.5.
Wow.
So I was like, Mom, come on, let's sell the house. Like, we don't need to be here anymore. Come on.
Yeah. Everybody move in with grandma and let's get
Yes,
this money.
exactly. This is what I'm saying. But no, we're staying put for now, I think.
So wait, you grew up there or how many
So-
years?
Okay, so I moved to Castle Rock going into 6th grade.
Okay, you said that.
Yes,
Right.
but which was weird because coming from Virginia, 6th, 7th, and 8th was middle school.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm ready. I'm going to middle school. This is like a good place in our lives. Like Jackson was gonna be my middle brother. He was gonna be the only one that was gonna have a hard time because Logan, my oldest brother, was going to school already, going to college. And I was like going perfect into this middle school transition. Actually, though, joke's on me because I went back to elementary school for a year.
Oh,
No.
snap.
Yes. So
No.
we got to Colorado and they're like, oh, actually 6th grade is still in elementary school.
So wait, is that why you're studying to be a teacher? Because you're so good at elementary school?
I guess so. Maybe, honestly.
What's their middle
You got
school?
skills.
Their middle school is just 7th and 8th. So yeah, so 6th grade I went back. Luckily my elementary school is literally down the street from my house. So I walked to school.
All
But
the cliques were already formed at that
Yes.
point.
I was coming in the last year of elementary school. Everyone already had their friends. So I was like, hey guys. And I mean, like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad that I went back to elementary school for a year because I actually got to make some friends before I moved into middle school and all that. But yeah, it was like, guys, Mom, Dad, why did you do this to me? This is horrible. I don't want to go back to elementary school for a year.
Who
But-
would have known that?
and I was like, Dad, you went to high school, middle school here. You should know this because he went to high school in Fort Collins. So I was like, Dad, come on. And he was like, sorry, kid, I didn't know. And I was like, whatever. But it was fine. It was fine. But definitely would prefer Virginia over Castle Rock.
Really?
Is that right?
Yes.
How's come?
I don't know. I mean, so I lived in the northern part. So I lived like 20 minutes away from Dulles Airport.
Uh-huh.
So right in Leesburg. And it was just like such a cute, and at that point, I guess it's probably much different now. Like it's probably grown so much. But when I was there, like my friend would walk down the street and knock on my door and be like, oh, do you want to play basketball? Like it was just like such a great neighborhood to grow
That's cool.
up in. And like I was involved in like my mom was always at my elementary school. Like both my brothers went to the same elementary school. So by the time I was there, I had people looking out for me. Like I told Mia the story the other day. It was Book Fair Day. And Book Fair Day was like my most favorite day ever. It was great. I was so excited. And I walked into the library and I looked at my backpack and my mom forgot to give me money. So I immediately start sobbing. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. What am I going to do? So then I went up to the librarian. Well, she came up to me because I was obviously upset. And she was like, she's like, what's happening, Sierra? And I'm like, my mom didn't give me money for books. And she's like, okay, don't worry about it. So then she calls my mom and is like, just send me some money later. I got it. I'll take care of her.
That's
So
great.
my librarian took care of me. But growing up in just like that environment where everyone like knew us, we had a great group of friends. The neighborhood was awesome. It was like the best. I couldn't have asked to grow up in a better neighborhood. And I would love to, like, when I have kids, I'd love to go back to the East Coast eventually in my life.
Uh-huh.
Don't know when,
Yeah.
but hopefully some point. Maybe when I start my family. I feel like starting a family in Virginia or just on the East Coast. in general.
Have you been back recently, like at any time?
Yeah, so I've been back. I went back last year for a wedding.
So you still have ties there.
still have ties. My dad's family is all in Maryland. My mom's sister lives in Maryland, so it's really not that far. And yeah, but I just miss Virginia. Everyone will be like, oh, so Colorado's so much better, right? I'm like, no. The only thing better is the weather because there's no humidity.
Right.
But that is it.
Is Virginia humid?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In the summer, it's not fun. Not fun at all. And growing up playing softball, I was like, get me out of this disgusting, natty weather. Oh, it was horrible.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Virginia's on the target list for you once you graduate.
Yes, but northern. I don't think I would go southern.
Anywhere else in the country?
So many places.
Oh,
really,
okay.
I'm really open for anything. Especially being an education major, everywhere needs teachers. So I'm
Sure.
like, wherever life takes me. Like Chicago, Mia wants to go to Chicago, I'm in.
Oh yeah. So you mentioned this. You slid in Chicago yesterday.
Good.
Uh,
I heard that.
did you hear that?
You told
Okay.
me,
So
yeah.
yeah. So tell us about that.
Well, I always loved Chicago every time that we'd go and visit as kids, and I love that there's family out there. And like as for law school, I don't really know what the plan is yet. I don't know if I want to stay in Utah. I can stay in Utah. It'll probably be a lot cheaper too. But I don't even want to I don't want to practice in Utah really.
Why?
I talked about it in my episode, but mainly because church and state are so closely related.
Right.
I feel as though it'll be harder for me to move out of the state and adjust to different state laws if I go to law school in Utah and if I start practicing right out of law school in Utah.
So you feel it's limiting?
A little bit. I know the logistics are that it's not, and that if I take the bar in Utah, it could work for all these other states if I wanted to practice in them. I just have to do a lot of research on it. So I feel like going to law school maybe somewhere where I haven't lived before, the other side of the country that I've never really been to, would be a lot of fun. So Chicago is definitely one of the, because I'm so familiar with the city, it's kind of one of my top cities where I would love to live at some point. Plus hearing stories from you, and from her cousin who went to college in Chicago too. It just, I don't know, it seems like an easier city to live in than New York. I don't think I'm ready to live in New York yet, which I want to at some point. But Chicago is definitely one of my tops.
Well,
It feels-
since since you're going into criminal defense, you're going to have plenty of clients.
Yes.
You're never going to run out of business in a city like Chicago. So
Yes.
And I think it helps that you're familiar with it. That makes it easier, of course. But you never know. Things could change and you could get into law school in Indiana or you can get into law school in Tennessee and, everything could shift. And the next thing you know, you're in Nashville living there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not limiting it just to Chicago. It would be nicer because we have a lot more family
We
there.
we do.
Where it's different from being here. Here, I have Sierra's family.
Yes.
But whereas if it were in Chicago or Illinois, I have a lot of your really close friends that are basically family to us. I have the cousins, which would be nice because I've always wanted to live by them ever since I was little.
Oh,
It's true. You always adored them.
Yeah.
Not to mention though, my family adores her.
Oh,
My grandma said hello to her before she did me.
We got to
this
get Grandma on
weekend.
the pod at some point.
Oh, Grandma. Oh, gee, she's the best.
Come on, Grandma.
Yes.
We got a couple more years. We'll work it in.
Yes.
Your family has been very welcoming to me.
Ah,
and we're so
yes.
grateful for it because
They're great.
your family lives here and that makes
Yes.
it so nice for Thanksgiving and Easter when Mia can't come home because the days off of your school are 2 and it makes no sense to get on a plane for 4 hours or however long it is and your family has taken her in for the holidays. It's
Yes.
so sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome. And they love her. So she's really just another one of me that they get to see every
I know,
week.
I love them. I love spending time with them. The first thing is she's brace yourself. They could get a little crazy sometime. I've had my fair share of crazy too.
You just sound crazy.
So I was okay, it can't be that bad. And honestly, it wasn't. She keeps saying, she'll say, oh, this person was acting so crazy today. I'm really?
Yeah.
I thought they seemed
We're always so
fine.
much more sensitive to our own family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
Exactly.
and dredging up history and all that just in a single comment at
Yes.
dinner table.
Yes.
Oh, that is
Exactly.
You know,
One sentence could ruin
one
it.
sentence like sends one person into a tailspin
yeah.
and everybody else is like, "What's the problem? I don't get it."
Yeah.
All the people who married into the family are like, "I'm sorry, what happened?" I missed
What
it."
are we
You
talking
know?
about, guys?
And someone's crying.
Yes.
Like your family.
Always.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Totally.
Like Mia has sat in on those. Like Grandpa starts yelling, and we're all just like, "What's going on?" And I'm looking at Mia.
That's
and
gonna
like,
be me.
Don't worry about it.
Fast forward me in 20
Yeah.
years. That's gonna be me. What the hell?
Literally. Yes.
When Dad came to visit for the very first time to meet my parents on the plane ride, I said to him, he was there for I think we were there for a week, and I said, on the first day, someone's going to end up crying. I said, it's always like that. And it was. I think it was the first day my niece, Christy,
Yeah, your niece.
she was living with my parents, her and my mom got into a fight, and Christy was screaming and crying.
Yep.
And you were in the family room with my dad, and I peeked
I was
out.
holding the baby.
You were holding Christian.
I was holding baby Christian. I'm like, let me just cover his ears.
Yeah.
I was in one of the bedrooms that was across from the family room, and I just remember peeking my head out, and I was like, "Told you."
Yeah. Told you.
It happens.
And meanwhile, her dad's just blaring Fox News at Mach 20.
Wonderful.
You know, he can't. He's like, Jesus Christ, keep it down out there. You know.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's like,
Oh yeah.
100%.
I don't even know how he heard them over the television.
Yes.
Yep, Christy's crying. My mom is yelling. You're holding
Yep.
the baby. My dad's got Fox News blaring. It was a
Oh,
perfect
wow.
scenario.
And you come in and you're like, okay, I'm going Christmas shopping with my mom. It's like
Yep.
she was gone for 8 hours.
You are being fed to the wolves now.
Yeah. Her dad was old school. So he was the guy where it's like, if you, he would not eat until my mother-in-law got home. So 9 hours of them at the mall. And then, I'd be like, I'd get up at a certain point watching football and he'd be in the other room watching his news. And I would go get a snack or a sandwich or something. I'd come back and just sit down. And I was like, man, he's been in there a while. He's probably sleeping or something. Mind you, my father-in-law is older, a lot older. So, anyway.
He's deceased.
Yeah. But long story short, her mother comes home and Denise, and they're carrying all kinds of bags. And he's like, Jesus Christ, I've been waiting all day for a sandwich,
Yep.
And she's
Yes.
like,
My
you can't go to the
grandpa's
fridge and feed yourself,
Yep.
And I would say,
Same.
my dad, are you serious? I would literally say, are you serious right
Yeah.
now? And he would say, you stay out of it.
I remember you chastising him. Oh, you're a grown man. You can't get a sandwich, Dad.
So we all have experience.
So holidays with the family.
Holidays. Yeah.
It's good you're
Crazy.
including me on
Yeah. Now
these
she
things.
gets into my family craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We've had our share of those too, even the 5 of us in LA. So, a couple screaming matches, a couple
Oh, for
crying
sure.
matches.
Mhm.
Parker knows how to mix it up for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't even have to be the holidays.
No, for sure. She knows how to throw a few haymakers here and
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's good times. You got to come out for that sometime.
I know. I got to
But it's
experience
paid
the
to pay.
graduation craziness.
Oh, yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
There
But
was
there
no
was, like,
craziness.
There was no Christmas.
She missed all the craziness between Ellie and I. She missed all of it.
Did you guys get into a fight?
Yeah.
You and Ellie got in a fight?
Yeah, we got into a fight right before I was going to pick Sierra up from the airport, and Kat was going to take a nap, and then she would end up taking a nap.
What happened? Were you guys screaming?
Oh yeah, we were just yelling about something really that's not so important now. We weren't screaming, we were just going back and forth. I'd say a couple things, she'd be like, I can't believe you just said that right now. I'd be like, okay, maybe I take it back.
You're a softie. Ellie's
I don't
like,
know why.
Ellie knows
Ellie's
how to
mean.
Ellie is mean.
Ellie knows how to get to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because she's your younger
Because you do a
sister.
lot for her, and it cuts like a knife when she is a little ingrate. So,
Yes.
I have told you specifically, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that for her. Do not pick her up. And you're like, I'm still doing it, Mom. And I'm like, don't do it.
I'm going to go get her.
Well, every time I do it, if I do go pick up her friends from a party, late night or whatever, they need a ride home, their friends will always be they will make accommodations for me. They'd be like, you can sleep at our house. We can steal some Trulies for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear
Just
this.
things things like that. Or Georgia would be like, I'll make you ramen when we get back to my house or something like that. So they'd always be really nice. There'd be some times where they wanted me to stop at McDonald's or something. They'd say, we'll pay for you. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. What was I going to do? I was going to stay up late anyway, just sitting in my bed.
Very nice of you. So did you pick up Sierra at the airport all red-eyed and puffy-faced?
Not as red-eyed.
No, but I did get some Snapchat videos of her crying in the car.
Oh,
I was like, I just got in a fight with them. But at that point, we were okay because you did the thing that you normally do, where you go into her room, you're like, your sister's really upset. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what, I have no idea what
there's a bunch of
said.
whispering and murmuring.
Yeah,
And
there's like
the next thing,
murmurs.
Ellie's stomping her feet. I
Ellie's-
just want to tell you I'm sorry.
She's stomping in, she opens the door, she closes it, and she stands there, dead faced, and she goes, I'm sorry.
that sounds just like her.
That is a dead-on
Wow.
impersonation.
Any tears? There's no tears when she says
Zero
it.
tears
And she doesn't
whatsoever.
really mean it because she doesn't really.
She probably does, but zero tears, zero emotions. I'm like, it's fine, all sassy. She goes, no, it's not. And then she starts being a lot more nicer, and she'll slowly creep over to me and slowly start to give me a hug. I'd be like, no, stop this!
Was Kat in the family room while you guys were going back and forth arguing?
No, we were in Ellie's room.
And where was Kat trying to sleep?
You and Kat were like in the family room and my room, like trying stuff on. You said Kat wanted to take a nap in the family room.
Okay.
And then I went into Ellie's room. We had some unfinished business to discuss. That was like our last big fight too. Like that was like the last, and then before that, I can't even remember when the last one was.
So I mean, graduation ran really smoothly considering how big of a party it was, and nobody was really stressed.
Yeah.
About that.
Was it our biggest one yet?
There were 200 people.
Wow.
Besides the one girl that puked on the couches that you rented.
Yeah, there was that one girl. There's always one girl.
There's always one.
Yeah, that's why I liked mine better, because even though there were a little less people, it was still like a lot of people.
And yours went way into the night with the adults. Like
Yeah, I let the adults stay. All of
You
Ellie's
did.
friends started kicking
You
their
were
parents
nice. Yeah,
out.
they kicked us out at 9, and then Mom was running with a box of champagne. Like, they're coming for me.
it wasn't
Go
champagne.
get your dad. Go
It
get your
wasn't
dad.
even champagne.
Oh, yeah,
it was vodka.
It was vodka and bourbon.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
gosh.
Yeah, Ellie's party started to get out of control. Ellie said she was passing around the triple sec, like, hey guys, who wants some? Like, she's all cute and everything. And I was like, oh my God, did everybody die of diabetes the next morning? It's all sugar.
She got so excited. She's like, look what I found. I was like, that's not even alcohol.
No, I'm behind the bar, like cleaning up cups and stuff. I'm like, gosh, this is just like my worst nightmare. Like my OCD is so bad right now.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I bet
just
it
need
was
to
in that
clean
backyard.
things.
Oh.
So I started cleaning things at the little cabinet thing that was at the bar. And then all these teenagers are like, do we have anything else to drink? Like, do we have anything else? I'm like, no. If there was
Yeah.
more to drink, I would not be cleaning up right now.
Yeah.
Did you
Easy
think the party was going to be as big as it was? What did you think?
Oh,
What did your graduation
Okay,
party?
well, Mia had kind of prepared me. She was like, Sierra, it's a true, like, LA party. And I was like, okay, well, I'm from Colorado. I don't know anything about LA. I've been there maybe once
Well, without the
before.
drive-by, we didn't have that.
Yeah,
So we left that off the
Luckily,
menu.
yeah. But I was like, I don't know. I was just like, because I didn't have a graduation party. I didn't do any of that because I was just like, I'm kind of over it. Like, I don't like any of these people anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't need your money.
What a coincidence. I didn't like them at 9:30 when all my friends left.
right.
So
But I was like, whatever. So I didn't do any of the graduation stuff. So then going to Ellie's, I was like, what is going to happen? Like, I had no idea. Then everyone started showing up. Like, the decorators came, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a full party. Like,
yeah.
we are throwing a party.
Uh-huh.
And little did I know, that is exactly what we were going to do. You guys killed it.
What? Thank you.
It was
Denise killed
amazing.
it.
Oh, thank you. Graduation has
I
always,
just show up. Go on.
graduation has always been a big deal for me because I didn't have a party. And so I barely graduated. Like we
I didn't want to
Yeah.
interject.
and so like we had a dinner.
Mom barely graduated.
Yeah. And so
She didn't know if she was going to graduate. She was waiting on a phone call.
yeah, and so I know.
So everything we've ever told you,
It's all
we're
lies.
complete hypocrites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really wanted a graduation party. Plus, it just doesn't seem like your generation or even Parker's generation, like people celebrated that much. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think graduation parties across the board, like in any state, like it's just like when I was growing up, graduation parties were a big deal.
Yeah, they
like
were.
everyone had them. And I just remember I didn't. And I was like, well, I can't really have a party. I can't blame my parents. I almost didn't graduate. So whatever. But I want to have a big celebration because high school's hard. And so I started with Parker and I was like, okay, so, we're just going to continue on the tradition. And it just got better and better. Like when Parker had her party, Mia came out and looked at the backyard. It was the funniest thing. So we did a whole Moroccan theme for Parker. It was so beautiful and so cool. And Mia came out and she goes, yeah, I'm not going to have this for my graduation.
No.
And I said,
Mia's was like Skybar, like white party.
Yeah, Mia's
That's
is like
what he
elegant.
said.
Mia's
class.
was
That's what he
elegant.
said.
Mia's
No.
always been the elegant kid in the
course,
family.
yeah.
Like she kind of doesn't belong to
No.
us, really. If she didn't look like me, we would have our doubts as to whether she really truly
Was
switched at birth.
Gordon.
So she comes out in the backyard and says, yeah, I'm not having this. She's like, I want everything white for my party. And I was like, oh shit, she wants a white party. Okay.
Yeah, we're
So-
doing it. We are going to do it.
So it was 2 years later and we did a complete white party for her.
Yeah.
And then Ellie was like pretty easy. Like Ellie just said she wanted like an Alice in Wonderland kind of theme, tea party look-ish, not an Alice in Wonderland like goofy Alice in Wonderland
No
goofy
Disney.
look. No Disney, but like very much like Tim Burton's Alice in
Tim
Wonderland.
Burton's out.
Yeah. So
Which is a hard concept to decorate for, I think.
Yeah, I think
and
that-
you did amazing.
I think the party planners had a tough time, right?
Yeah, it was
Finding props and
they
all
did
that.
Yeah.
because they wanted to finding props at one place was just beneficial financially because you have these delivery fees, which when I say what a delivery fee is for this furniture, nobody's going to believe it because we rented furniture, but it was $1,000 just for the delivery.
It was?
It was $1,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
It was insane. So if you go to a different place, it's going to be another $1,000. So to like get it all in one place and get the colors right and all of that, the party planners definitely had a hard time, but they knocked it out.
Yeah,
of the park.
they
It was
nailed it.
really beautiful.
For sure.
So then and so it was fun. Ellie's was the biggest one because Ellie had a lot of friends and wanted to invite, like Mia, all of their families. So Mia invited all the families too.
Mm-hmm.
But Ellie had Ellie had more lower classmen friends than you did. So Ellie had a lot of kids from junior and sophomore
She had
years
freshmen there.
that she was really friendly with. And
Yeah.
so that's why the count was higher because of the underclassmen that she was friends with as well.
Plus, it was basically our going away party.
Yeah.
So we
yeah.
invited all of our friends as well. Like I invited, 8-9 people from work, and almost every one of them was able to come.
Yeah, it was
know?
really
so.
fun.
It was.
So
it was
I'm
a
glad
great.
you got to experience
I know.
that.
It was so fun. And everyone was so nice. And they was just like, who are you? You don't look like a Gordon. I'm like, no, is it because I'm 5'4"? Like, no, I'm not a Gordon.
Oh, Sierra.
But
Everyone
Just tell them
there
you're the
loved
runt.
yes, I'm just the little runt kid. But no, they were all great. It was so much
Yeah, and everyone there loved her too. Everyone was like, I'm like godmoms, the close family friends that are like
Oh,
aunts and
of
uncles.
course.
They were like, oh, she's so great. She's an amazing roommate. I was like, yes, tell me something I don't
Tell me
know.
something new.
What's not the love?
Right?
We love you too.
And she fit just right into,
You did.
so it wasn't like I had to worry like really about like who she'd be talking to and stuff. Like she gets along well with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we always make it I make it especially clear. Do not bring kids over that are going to spend a week at our house that's going to have any kind of drama. Like I've said that so many times. I'm like, because it's going to ruin the event, whatever it is. Or don't take kids on vacation that are going to be drama. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
So, Sierra was perfect.
I know. And it was my second time at your house.
It was.
So it was
Yeah.
so much fun. We had gone, what was it, probably a year ago now, right?
Spring break.
Spring break. So almost a year. So spring break last year.
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. You had just been there.
No,
That's
it was
right.
2022.
Yeah.
It's 2022.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So spring break 2022. Yes, we all went to your house. It was the two of us girls.
Yeah, it was just back in March.
Yeah.
Yes.
This year. Okay,
And
sorry.
Hudson
Wow.
and Carter. And they were, these Gordons, they were the best. They, most welcoming people ever. They got us to go to Disneyland. That was super awesome.
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you.
That was such
You're
a great
welcome.
string to pull. But Disneyland was awesome. The beach was great. And they were just like, really, we walked into their house and I'm pretty sure Carter and Hudson said it. They were just like, this just feels like home.
Aw,
And like, it was just
thank you.
such a great trip.
We always tried
It was awesome.
to make the kids feel that way, especially the ones that are coming from places where they've never seen California before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Denise really has always done a great job of just sort of packing the week with like the must-hit things
Yes,
for Los
that's
Angeles.
exactly what
And
she
it was
did.
really important for us because we knew we were leaving LA by that time. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
at that point, it was like, here's your crack at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You guys
I
better
know.
go.
Yeah.
I got a call one day and it was from, I think it was from mom. And she was like, all right, like, this will probably be your last spring break at home. So if your friends want to come, which they totally should, you need to, like, get them to come. So then that was
That
when.
sounds exactly like mom.
Yeah, so that was when I walked into their dorm and I was like, all right,
Who's
LA,
going to
yes or
California?
no? Either you're coming or you're not.
I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
I was like, I will plan everything. You just need to. I literally said, I was like, you just need to pay for your ticket or pay for gas or however. They decided to drive because they didn't want to fly, but I was like, you just.
I did not decide to drive. The boys decided to
The
drive.
boys drove.
Yeah.
The boys
So
drove.
the boys
Well, that was
wanted
great
to
because
drive.
you guys had a car, right?
Yes, we had a car, and it actually wasn't that bad. And I didn't have to drive.
That's great.
They split it up, and then on the way home, we split it up 4 ways, right?
Yeah.
So, what were you expecting when you came to LA for the first time?
So I had been to California. I had been to like the Huntington Beach area, just done the basic stuff because I had gone there for a softball tournament. Weirdly enough, that was with Mia's best friend in LA, her old softball team.
Grace.
Very weird.
Wow.
Who's
Yes.
now Ellie's homie at Seattle University.
Yes.
Smallish world.
Small
Smallish
world, right?
How old were you?
I want to say I was probably beginning my junior year in
Okay.
high school,
Mhm.
I think. But it was really just like played a bunch of softball and then went home. Like we didn't
Okay.
really do that much. And so going out to LA for like walking down the Hollywood Boulevard for the first time and seeing all the bougie stores and stuff, I was like, this is like a whole different world.
Oh yeah.
Like
It
living
is.
out here is not. I'm like I couldn't do it. There's so much hustle and bustle. And there's just way too many people in general. I was like,
Agreed.
I cannot do this.
Agreed.
Well, she was shocked when we were driving. She said this graduation weekend, so it was already her second time there. But we were driving to a friend's graduation brunch, and she was like, "You have to get on the highway to go see your friends."
Oh, always.
I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "I mean, I could take side streets,
It'll
but
take you
it'll
forever.
just take me an extra 10-15 minutes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, the fact of driving more than 8 minutes to get to my friend's house
Oh.
is just
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would be
Oh,
like,
Denise and I had good.
Not
Like
worth
Denise
it.
had a really good girlfriend when she and I were dating. This
Nicole.
girl named Nicole, yeah. But she lived on the west side, and there just came a point where it was like she might as well be living in Egypt right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like the
Because-
405 killed our relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that friendship died. Like she was such
Yeah.
a nice girl, Denise. She and Denise would do stuff together, and you know, I was like, "Hey, what's up with Nicole?" She's like, "I don't know. I can't see her.
yeah,
So
and that's
I can
I
never
feel
make
like
it to
that's
her house."
Exactly what would happen with me. I'd be like, listen, I love you, you're a great friend, but I don't want to get all the way over there.
Yeah.
It's too far. Too
It's
long.
too rough. I mean,
What
it's,
did you think? I'm so sorry. What
No,
did
good.
you think of Malibu?
Oh, I love
'Cause-
Malibu.
Did you?
Malibu was so fun.
Because it's a drive. So we're talking about
Yeah,
driving.
yeah.
around. That's a drive. But what did you think?
But it was so beautiful. And we were watching the Kardashians, a couple days later, and they were at that grocery store, and I was like, Mia, look! You took me there!
Vintage grocers.
Yeah, vintage
Shout out.
grocers.
Yes. Yeah, that's like the go-to grocery store, even though it's like $15 for a tiny cup of mac and cheese.
oh, yeah, it's like 25
ridiculous.
bad
Yeah.
almonds.
Yeah,
It's like
so,
insane.
but
Yeah.
that's always like the go-to, especially because we don't go to a main beach, we don't go to like Point Zuma or anything, at least when Ellie and I go with the friends, just because it's easier. So we always hit one of like the more private, but also open to the public beaches that's right by Vintage. But yeah, we saw it in the
well, you guys have
Kardashian
connections
episode.
growing up in LA, so
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
all the good beaches.
going to your little Catholic school, you know plenty of people out
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way. So
Which was actually really nice because even though a lot of the girls did live far, like going to an all-girls school was nice because that was the chance that I would like get to see my friends or play sports with them. And sometimes if the girls live too far, they'd come over before like lacrosse practice or something. So even though the driving was brutal to see most of the friends, I'd say it was worth it.
Aww.
Did you guys go to my favorite place in Malibu, Sun Life? Is it called Sun Life?
It is
Sun Life? We
Sun
didn't
Life.
go to Sun
My
Life.
smoothie joint, $18 smoothies.
We did not.
Absolutely not. Why would you pay $18 for a smoothie?
You're balling on a
when you
budget.
can go to Smoothie King on Fridays and get one for $5, that's 32
Denise
ounces.
loves Smoothie King. Where do we
love
find Smoothie King?
Yes.
Little Rock? No.
No,
Texas somewhere.
it was in Texas.
Yeah.
I think it was in
Yeah.
Texas.
Smoothie
Dallas. We were in Dallas.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love Smoothie
Yeah.
King.
We had
have
one-
Smoothie King over here.
Yeah, we had one in Castle Rock, and it was kind of newer, my like senior, junior year. And in high school, we had open campus for lunch, so we could go wherever we wanted. Every Friday, everyone would be at Smoothie King getting a
Yeah,
32
They
ounce,
should just call it Big Gulp.
$5.
They should just call it Big Gulp.
I know.
Because
I mean,
it's
this
got to be 4,000
Yeah.
calories a
Yeah.
cup or
I
whatever.
know.
It's so good.
It is so good. I completely
I like
agree.
my Sun Life. I like everything organic with the almond butter.
Oh,
He's
you
bougie.
bougie
I
LA
mean,
man.
Hey, I got sensitive skin.
Okay.
Hey listeners, are you traveling a bunch and tired of slogging to the post office to deal with your snail mail? Maybe you're looking to keep your small business mail from going to your home so you can look more professional. Or you're possibly looking to just raise your profile with an address in the most desirable part of the city. Whatever the case, Anytime Mailbox is a service app that allows you to have your mail delivered to a virtual mailbox and so much more. In the Anytime Mailbox app, you can choose to scan, recycle, shred, or even forward your mail, or perhaps even get that check you've been waiting on deposited directly into your bank account, even if you're halfway across the world. Head on over to skiptownallstars.com/anytime and learn how a few $100 a year can give you the peace of mind when dealing with all your red tape and snail mail needs. That's skiptownallstars.com/anytime. Now, on with the show. So those are your LA experiences. Tell us what's been happening here in Utah since you went back to school. I mean, you had just gone back to school
Yes.
when you hadn't even attended class, actually.
No.
Had you?
Not when we filmed, no. So
Yeah, so what's cracking? What's up with the
classes
youth?
are in full swing.
That's what I have to say.
Yeah, classes are in full swing. Since you guys have seen me last, I'm now a double major. So
Ooh,
yeah.
Look at you just throwing that out.
I just have to slide it in, let
Yeah.
everyone know that they can
Oh
still
my
be proud
God.
of me.
It's
Yes.
like nice hashtag humble brag. My
Yeah.
Lord.
I'm sorry, no one else is gonna do it. Anyway,
They would do enough of it. I
I
promise.
don't know. I had forgotten about it, but
yeah.
yeah.
So, well,
I don't know.
Major.
well, when I
We're
sent
doing a lot
it,
of stuff.
Everyone asks me what
I'm
she's
still-
majoring in. I'm like, oh, she's a double
I'm still
major.
floating after the
Sociology.
football game.
I
well,
So-
when I texted in the group chat and I was
We'll
like,
get to
oh, I think I'm gonna double major. My mom didn't even respond, so I called her. I was like, you have nothing to say about me double majoring?
I
She
feel
was
like
like,
Ellie.
oh, I thought Ellie sent that. I was like, how would she have time to do this?
Yeah.
But
So I didn't respond because Ellie
Yeah.
is an overachiever to the nth degree. So for her to say she's double majored, I'm like, oh, whatever, okay. So that's why I
Yeah.
didn't even respond. But then I got crazy when I knew it was you.
yeah, and then she was all like, she got all mom on me. She's like, you're not gonna graduate late, are you? I was like, no, it's okay. But classes are in full swing. We just had fall break, which
Yes.
was so much fun. We went to Moab for Sierra's cousin's wedding, and it was so
Yes.
nice. It was both of our first time.
It's still on our
Big.
list, too.
It's
Moab.
the
You guys
best.
have to go. You'll love
So
it.
beautiful.
They literally got married looking at Moab. Like it was
Oh,
in the
yeah.
backdrop. Like it's so beautiful.
Unreal.
I saw the photos.
And it was like, and it was so funny because like we got there when it was Thursday. We were hanging out with my cousin Katie. She's the one that got married. We were hanging out with her, her husband, and like some friends at this bar, whatever, at this restaurant place. And these guys are playing pool, and they start talking to Katie, and Katie's like, "Oh, like we're just here for a wedding." He's like, "Oh, like what wedding are you here for?" And she's like, "Mine." And he was like, "Oh, wait, are you getting married at like blah, 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 whatever, wherever the place was?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm working your wedding."
Yeah.
And
what
like,
are the chances?
we were
I know,
just
it's crazy.
literally playing pool with him. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'm working your wedding.
There's
Yes.
where we were a
Crazy.
ton of like
Yeah.
locals mixed with a ton of tourists.
Yeah.
So you could tell which ones were the locals because they all kind of knew each other, but they were like really great at like carrying a conversation
That's
with us.
awesome.
Even the tourists, we met a couple people that
It
was
was
from like
so
North Carolina and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it was super cool.
I don't know.
So you went to the wedding during fall break.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we went after the wedding. We drove back to Castle Rock to my house for. You were only there for a day.
Just a quick little
Yes.
drive to
So-
Castle Rock.
Quick 7 hours,
Yeah.
6 hours. Jeez
So she
Louise.
was there for basically the rest of that break. I went to go visit Miss Ellie in Seattle,
Oh,
which
yeah, that's right. You got around last week.
I did. Visiting is kind of a stretch because she's so busy all the time. So it was more like seeing her in between classes and practices. But it was really great. I got to see her. We got to go get dinner. We went out to dinner with my friend Grace too. So it was really nice to see them both. And then I was there for probably, I think, 36 hours.
That was a really short.
And then I hopped on a plane. I flew back to Salt Lake. Once I hopped off the plane, I hopped right back in my car and came right back to the airport to pick up these two.
Yeah. Real quick though, when you see Grace, so you played against Grace back in the day?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't
So
know.
I've never.
I was
I've
just
never
gonna
met
say, is there
Grace.
any like, was there ever a little like moment where,
Well-
where one person won
Were you
the
no.
game against the other one?
No.
Uh,
I could not be a
I
pitcher.
just wondered because
But-
you know guys do that
No,
stuff.
yeah,
so-
but so most definitely, I probably had practiced with her when we went out to California for that clinic because the organization Batbusters, where
Oh, okay. Got it.
yes, so Grace's coach was like the best college softball producing coach ever. Like
Whoa.
he is top dog. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
All of the girls at University of Florida, Arizona, all the big name softball
Okay.
schools, they all come from his program.
Got it.
And so we had just gotten bought out by the Batbusters organization.
Got it.
So we had transferred and we're now Batbusters. So flew to California it was supposed to be a tournament, but it was mostly just practicing and getting screamed at.
Okay.
And it was miserable.
Got it.
I literally
So it was like a camp type environment.
kind of, yeah. Like we were playing, one of our sister teams was playing the 14s team for his Batbusters and got smacked.
They got smoked.
And we were second year 16s.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're like 2 full years older.
Wow.
Oh my god. We looked ridiculous. And I literally,
We looked ridiculous.
it was so bad. Oh my gosh. And Mia knows how competitive I am. It's like bad to a fault. And
Right.
I'm so mad. Then I go up to my dad, who was he's my assistant coach at the time, and I was like, Dad, I hate this. And it was like the one time that he like yelled at me. He looked me in the eyes and he's like, you do not get to say that right now. He's like, I spent all this money for you to come out here.
Dads love to
Like,
throw that out.
You're
I always-
gonna.
That's
He's like,
why
I know it's not
I
what
always
you
throw that
wanted.
wallet around.
Yeah, he's like, it's not what you expected, but I didn't pay all this money for you to just be negative about it.
Yeah.
And looking back now that I'm older, I'm like, God, I'm such a spoiled brat. Like, obviously me, I was like me crying because we're losing so bad. Like,
Well, she brought up Grace again, so that's why when I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, did they actually play each other?"
yes,
And if they did, who won?
probably her. Is
so,
the
yeah.
answer. Most definitely her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If we did play each other without knowing, she
Okay.
definitely did win.
All right, so we're taking the on ramp back to the conversation. You
Yes.
picked us up the other day at the airport.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that.
Anytime. And
In the family's only car.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Teddy!
The only one we have left.
Yes.
Daddy.
So picked him up in Teddy the Jetty. Then we hung out for a couple days, and then it was time for Parents Weekend. However, I took Mom on a hike the other day.
And catastrophe was upon the
Oh
way.
my gosh, I actually felt horrible because the hike itself was really hard. Like, I will say that I'm not gonna say I'm a super athletic person, but yeah, so like, I don't know. I know when hikes are hard or not, and I know when I'm just being dramatic or not, but that hike was pretty hard.
You know what though? I saw moms with babies on their backs, and I was like, "Oh, if they're doing this, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do this."
yeah, so we made it up like pretty far. We made it up high. It got to the point where I started to get lightheaded kind of from the elevation, so we didn't last very long, but we did do the hike, and then we came back here, what was this, Thursday? Friday?
The hike was on
Friday
Thursday.
night.
Friday. It was
Oh
on
yeah,
Friday.
yes, because Thursday we spent the day shopping and stuff
Oh
like
yes.
that. Yeah.
So backtrack. Thursday we went shopping. It was her first time going shopping in 2 months, so we just went all crazy. But when we got back Friday from the hike,
Yeah, you got Lululemon.
yes,
That was quite the tab.
A little bit
Yeah.
for her.
Those pants should come with a bike.
They should come with a
You would
bike.
think, right?
Her
Yeah.
shirt.
They should come with a Peloton.
So
They're so
Mia,
expensive.
Mia actually showed James her shorts that she got from Lulu, and he looked at them and said, "Does that come with a bike?"
Yeah,
they don't.
No.
But they're really cute shorts.
they look
and
expensive.
the
Oh.
yoga pants were also very, very cute. I let out an ew when I was trying them on. I was
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
it's so cute.
So
All right, so shopping was
So then
successful
Friday-
for
Yes.
everyone but me.
So
Go
then
on.
Friday we
Let
get
your
back
bank
to
account.
the Airbnb after hiking, and you were just saying how tired you were, really. So my mom goes to sit down on the couch, starts to go to sleep. I was like, all
I
right.
just took a 3-hour nap in the
Yeah.
middle of the afternoon.
I was like, all right, I'll go take a shower. I came back down. I was reading a book. I put a huge dent in there. I read like 250 pages.
Oh my goodness.
Then came home and bragged about it to me.
I
And I was
did.
like,
Another
yes,
humble
you
brag.
bookworm. Go
Yes.
on.
I mean, I'm not saying I read the whole book, but I read the whole book.
But I basically
Yeah.
read like a good amount of the book. But then she would just wake up in and out, and she would just say, "Oh, I don't feel that great. I don't feel that great." And then it just
And
took
she
a
started
turn
coughing.
for the worst
It
after
did.
that.
It was
Yeah.
really bad. And Mia kept saying, well, you didn't keep saying, but you did say at least once, maybe twice, I think it was the hike. And I was like, how could it be the hike? Like, no, I've done hikes before. Like, how could it be the hike? But then on Saturday morning, I was really, really sick. And so we went to urgent care. And the first thing and I knew I had a sinus infection, but what was weird is I threw up the night before, and I never thrown up from a sinus infection. It was just odd. And so, but it was so
it was
painful.
not my
Like, even
vision of a great Friday night.
no,
No,
and like
I'm
even
sure it
right now,
wasn't.
we're like 3 days in, and I'm still in so much pain. But when I got to urgent care, he asked me. He said, it was so crazy. He goes, which is normal. He said, "Were you getting a cold?" He goes, "Did you notice a cold like on Friday?" And I said, "Actually, I noticed a cold on Thursday. Like Thursday night. Remember, I said, can you get me airborne?" I'm like, I'm
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
like a tickle. Like Thursday night, I was like, I'm feeling like a tickle. I'm like, I think I need airborne or something, because I knew I had a big weekend planned for a parent weekend. And then he goes, "Did you go on a hike?" And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "It was the hike." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "The elevation." He's like, "We're already above sea level." He's like, "And you went on a hike." He goes, "Where did you go?" And I go, "I don't know where." I go, he goes, "Was it strenuous?" I'm like, "I thought it was hard." And he was like, "It was the elevation." He's like, "You were already getting a cold." He goes, "And then the elevation just caused so much pressure." He's like, "It's like being on a plane."
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes, "And then it just exploded." And that's exactly what happened. Like,
Unless you were dehydrated.
yeah, he said that too. He's like, "And you're dehydrated." He's like, "That made it worse." So Friday night, I couldn't get off the couch. Like, and I was just moaning because I was in so much pain Friday night. And Saturday, I was like, I have to go and get some relief. So I'm on antibiotics, but I'm still in like a lot of pain.
She's
Like,
all hopped up right now.
it's crazy.
I know, but I mean, she rallied really well on Saturday. We
Thank
had
you.
a great home
You
game.
did. It was
She
Uh,
wasn't gonna let it
Well,
ruin the weekend.
no.
First, we had a little pregame, so let's talk about
so
that.
we'll go through all of this. Well, originally what the plan was go to the normal pregame that we always go to, because I kept saying like, "Oh, I'm trying to figure out tailgates we can go to," and Mom just said, "Just take us wherever you go on
Yeah.
game days.
Yeah.
We're just along for the ride."
And for anybody who's going to have a college freshman next year, like seriously, the minute the family weekend tickets go on sale for the tailgate, you have to scoop them. Like, they're gone in 24 hours. So
yeah.
if you think you're taking little Jenny to the tailgate before the game, you are not if you're waiting like a week before the event. So
Yeah.
even if you're living in state, it doesn't matter. You got to scoop that up. Like, the minute you get that email blast from the college, you got to scoop up.
And when I was in urgent care, he was saying to me, he's like, "Well, you've had," because I told him I had sinus infections in the past. He's like, "Well, you've had sinus infections in the past. So tell me, like, what antibiotic do you like?" And I go, "Oh, I need to get rallied. Like, I need to be ready in 6 hours to be at this."
So
freaking-"
whatever will work.
That's what I said. I said, "You give me the strongest." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah, well, I mean, she did great. We met at the apartment first. You guys got to see it all done.
It's
Not
clean.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Good
So-
job, ladies.
Thank you.
It wasn't your responsibility to begin with, but
No.
We
way to
fixed it.
way to recover.
Yep. So then we went to our normal friend's house that her and I go to before every
Is he
single game.
normal?
What?
Is he normal?
Is he normal?
You
No,
said it's
he's-
your normal
he's
friend.
crazy.
No.
He's crazy.
He's crazy, but we
love him.
we went to the usual friend's house.
Aiden
that
was
we
a nice
normally
guy
go
for
to.
allowing the old folks to attend
Yes,
pregame.
shout
He
So-
played old music too.
He
He
did.
did.
He was great. They're always great hosts there, which
They
is
really
why
are.
we normally stay there until it's time to go to the game because we'll always be having fun.
I can see
There'll
why. It
always
was a
be
fun
people
place.
there. It's all of our
Yeah,
friends.
and it's always like we'd much rather stay there with our friends than go to a bigger frat tailgate where it's just
You're
20
lost in the
guys
crowd.
and
Yeah.
like 120 girls, and you're like, this is stupid.
yeah.
How
So-
about the neighbor coming out?
Yeah, I was
with
just
a
going to say, the
bottle of
best part was the
whiskey?
neighbor lady
and
coming
just
out with
like
the fireball.
Every
Every time.
weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Oh, she's out there with the fireball every
Every
weekend.
weekend.
So is
She was
her
super
husband,
sweet. What a nice
Bryce.
lady. Yeah, he was a cool guy,
Yeah.
too.
Man.
They always come out. They're super cool neighbors too. Like we tell the boys all the time, we're like, you could have it 10 times
Oh, yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, she told me the story of when they were playing beer pong in the front yard
Yes.
in a $1 million house neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
And they
new
finally
children
came
are
out
being
and they're like,
raised.
guys, you're going about this wrong. Like, take the beer pong into the backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, you're just drawing unwanted attention to yourself.
yeah.
So,
But so we went there.
We taught James the rules of die.
die. I learned.
You
Yeah.
learned die. We
He
also
got-
played some pong.
Yeah, he got brushed up on the Pong rules.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. What is the point of the upside down kegger? I don't
A keg stand.
What is the point of that?
I
Does
have
it
no idea.
Sierra
alcohol
did a
go
keg
down?
stand
She
or
did
two.
too.
I
What's
did
the
too.
point? What's the point of it? I need to know.
Honestly, I do not know.
It's honestly just to like show
It's-
everyone that you know how to drink.
But you
It's
can
just a
drink
it's just a
Don't drink
celebratory
up
thing.
and down.
It's actually harder to drink that way, right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to
So-
like inhale
goes up
at
your
the same
nose.
time.
Yeah. So Aiden had texted me and he was like, I think we're gonna get to keg for Saturday. I was
And
like,
they did.
this is awesome. And I texted Mia and I was like, Mia, I'm doing my first.
I
keg
walked
stand."
in too, and I was like, "Oh my god, the youngsters are doing a keg! Like I haven't
Yes,
seen one of
we
these
got
in
one.
years."
And then I was really nervous the whole time because he was like, "Oh, I don't know, my cousin's getting it," and I was like, "Aiden, if you do not get a keg, I'm gonna be so disappointed."
Wait, tell
Yeah,
me.
so they drove to Wyoming to get this keg.
No, they did not.
They did so.
His cousin.
Axel was his name.
Yes.
He was like, "Yeah, we went to this place in Wyoming across the state line to get it." I don't know why. Presumably their fake IDs work there or something. I'm not sure, but he's like, "It's an hour and 20, and we made it in 50 minutes." And so I was like, "Oh, you know, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
Kids, underage, fake
Speeding,
IDs,
kegs.
doing 150 miles an hour with a keg in the trunk."
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
so but
Just the
That
usual
sounds about
Friday.
right. That
I
actually
know.
sounds about right.
Yes.
but in a strange way, I was kind of proud of them. So
Right.
you know, I was
Yeah.
like, look at these guys making it happen
Men.
for themselves. Young dreamers,
Men. Yes.
young doers. I love it.
Actually, more like boys.
So,
But
anyway,
yes. So
yeah. So Mia was like, "Are you going to do this? Are you going to do?" You know, people were like, "Are you going to do a keg stand?" And I was like, "Gentlemen, I've already had the best 4 years of my life. You go on and have yours."
So instead, he recorded me doing mine too.
Yeah.
Because his daughter would not do one.
I just realized we're going to open the episode with that.
Of a keg stand?
Yeah.
Yes! Perfect. It went to good use.
Hey, I held everyone up while they
You
did the
did. You
keg.
did.
I
That's
didn't
true.
need that question answered really.
No.
I already
I
knew
did.
I couldn't do it. I wasn't gonna be dramatic about
It
it.
really wasn't hard. You should have done it.
Mia, you were a good girl that day. You had a few, but nothing major.
So lame. So lame.
Okay. Well, also like I didn't.
It was your parents were also here.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Well,
Kid is
also I was
somewhat
kind of
weird.
worried too because I knew Miss Denise wasn't feeling that great, so I just wanted
Yeah,
to make sure that
that's true.
she was having fun despite how she was
That's
feeling.
very sweet.
Yes.
And so like we were gonna
She
go.
didn't get all liquored up for you.
Yeah. Well,
You
she
said
also
thank you.
knew. She also
Yeah.
knew way beforehand. I was like, just get a pack of like Twisted Teas or something. I'm really not going to be drinking all that much.
Oh my
Like,
god.
you know,
So I did.
you know.
I drank for the both of us.
Yeah, and so we were also going to go to one of the frat tailgates, which we were really excited for, except once we got to like the pregame, everyone was kind of having fun. I knew Mom wasn't feeling that great, and it's not like it was a burden or anything because you were being
I
a
was
trooper.
fine.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I knew you wanted to go, or you would have
She
gone.
was just moving a little slow. That's like if you
Yeah.
know her, that's all you would be able to detect.
Exactly.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but then other stuff happened, so I was like, you know what? It's okay. We can skip out on the frats. At that point, Aiden's aunt and uncle came, so then you guys were talking
We had
with
fellow
them.
older people to
Yes.
hang out with. Yeah.
So that was great. And then at that point, I was like, we might as well just walk to the stadium. There was a tailgate that her cousin goes to, so we were like, we can stop there. We can say hello.
We got to meet some of the
Yeah.
family.
Yes.
The aforementioned family.
Yes.
And that is her husband's family.
Okay.
And so
Yep,
her
yep,
husband's
in-laws.
family created the entire Utah gymnastics program, pretty much. So
Underachievers.
yeah, not
All
to
of them.
like brag about the Marsden, but they are pretty great. No, but
I'm not sure
So
you
this
know
is
them.
Katie, your cousin's
Yes.
in-laws.
yes. So Katie's in-laws, her
Mom.
father-in-law, he was like the first coach of Utah gymnastics.
And what is his name?
Couldn't tell you.
What's his last name?
Marsden.
Marsden.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Marsden.
And they have a center named after their family, right? After the father.
I don't think so.
Oh, there's not a building commemorating.
No, they don't have that in the
No, you said Dumpy
Oh, okay.
was theirs. You always said that's
No.
their building. Yes,
Whatever.
every time we walked past
We'll cut
it.
that out. Go
Cutting
on.
that out. Anyway, so they are like big gymnast hotshots. So normally, like couple tailgate, like last year tailgate, like
Yeah, we went to
Megan had Megan, the mother-in-law, had Olympic gymnasts there
that's
and like
amazing.
professors that are all drinking, and
Nice.
so which you guys didn't really get to meet any famous
No.
people, but. Sorry, I couldn't do the LA thing for you for my
Sorry.
Utah network.
I did not get to meet Mary Lou Retton.
No.
Thanks a lot, Sierra.
I know, really unfortunate. But luckily, yeah. But she closed up the tailgate pretty early. She was closing at 5:30.
Yeah, so we really just wanted to get to the stadium
Yeah.
by that time because I wanted my mom and my dad to meet Katie. I wanted them to see like kind of what it's like to be at a tailgate that's right in front of the stadium
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of behind it.
Oh, it really was right in
So,
front.
yeah.
Like
It was
right in the
amazing.
front park.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
so if we had to miss a couple frat tailgates, I'm okay with it.
I've been to enough in my day. Go on.
Yeah, so
It's like
I haven't been to any.
You haven't been to
Really?
any?
they're really not
Don't
really.
they have fraternities at Loyola of Chicago?
I was downtown.
Are you guys too
we
highfalutin?
don't have football at Loyola.
You still have
you
fraternities.
can still have
Greek
fraternities
life.
without football.
Yeah, but then where do you
They're
tailgate?
not-
Basketball?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
Yeah,
just
it's a
throw
good
your own
point.
parties.
There's a Greek row, I'm sure, on the North Shore, but I know
Yeah.
classes were in the city. So
You didn't have tailgates for men's field hockey?
if they did, I didn't go. I didn't
Yes.
know about it.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so then we got to the stadium. I walked you guys to your seats, and then you guys saw a great
A thriller of a game.
An
Like, top
amazing
Top
game.
10 moments. of
Utah
my life.
43, USC 42.
Boo. USC
But
sucked.
USC did cover the spread, so all my gambling friends were very happy still. So I got to see USC lose, and they covered the spread. So,
Perfect.
but
great
yeah, it was. I mean, Utah did not lead at all. It looked like it was going to get ugly in that game.
It did.
First quarter, within 6-7
I was
minutes,
screaming.
USC was up 14-0 already, and
Yeah.
it looked like they were headed for a beatdown. And so they clawed their way back,
Great.
tied it up in the third quarter.
Yep.
And then it was just back at that point. It was back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth. But Utah never led,
No,
and
but we were racing
until
the
there were like 20 seconds left, or whatever it was, 30 some seconds or
Yeah.
something left in the game. And even then, because Utah's defense was so sorry, especially the first half,
Normally
You-
we do
you
so
could-
well.
you could not be guaranteed that USC wasn't just going to storm down the field in 38 seconds or whatever and just kick a field goal and walk off a winner. You know, so for them to hang on, and
Cam
especially it was the Cam Rising quarterback.
Shout out
Watch out
Cam.
for him.
Shout out
He's going to
Cam.
get drafted for sure. To stand there and think, oh wow, like my kid's down there in that storming of the field somewhere.
Yes.
Was actually a thrilling
That
thing.
was so
I was
much
like,
That was so much
because
fun.
we did that, but it I went to Youngstown State, so there were only like 12 of us storming the field.
Yeah.
You know? And so
Yeah.
it was kind of like
It was
we were
awesome.
really just trespassing at
Okay,
that
so
point.
you
But you guys, like
Field,
15,000 kids or whatever.
when you storm the field, do you get near the actual players, or do they like?
Yeah, no, I slapped like 4 players.
They were in the
back
middle,
to back.
right? And they were
Yeah.
all, everybody was jumping.
So
up
it's
and down.
basically everyone that first storms out is usually the team, athletic trainers, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Anyone who's kind of close down.
Yeah.
And then it took a couple seconds for a few. There was like a jump. We didn't jump.
Yeah.
We took
Oh,
the
you didn't do
stairs.
the jump? I saw
No,
people
if
jump.
we would
over.
have broke our ankle.
balls.
Yeah, it's a 10-foot
It
jump.
looked like an ankle breaker.
Yeah, and that was
It
like
did.
pretty much all.
I saw a girl hanging on for dear life
Yeah.
and her boyfriend like pulling her by the hips.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like
Yeah.
really like only like the front row people-ish,
Yeah.
they jump over, but we were up high enough, so we just walked down some stairs.
So you
Yeah.
just walked out.
We didn't worry about the 10-foot
Everybody
jump.
else is like, it's like it's like the insurrection at Congress where people are like climbing up the thing and pretending to be
Yes.
commandos, and meanwhile everybody else is just walking up
Yeah,
the
walking
stairs.
down some stairs,
Yeah.
just chilling.
So
Oh, God.
before like the game actually ended, when there was probably like 30 seconds left, we started making our way down.
Did you?
And then we were like, oh no, wait, let's stay a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
'cause
like
then they
back and
crossed-
forth.
Yeah.
They crossed the first down line, and I was like, guys, we shouldn't have moved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
guys, this is bad.
I
We're
remember
not
there was
in
a
good
penalty
spot.
late that really helped out
Yes.
Utah.
And I was
And
like,
I mean,
I know,
it was a
yes.
legit penalty, but
Yeah.
there are a couple penalties. I mean, whatever. We're not
Yeah.
gonna do sports talk.
But the Utes
I could
won.
go on.
The Utes won, so
Yeah, so we
screw
ended up
Utes.
winning. We got to storm the field, and then after we were on, we ran in, topped a couple football players.
Took
Yeah.
a couple pics.
Yeah, we took some pictures on the field, and we ran right back out. And I was like, all right, where are my parents?
How do football players exit the field when you guys are surrounding them? There's like things I really want to do.
There's.
I don't think they were in a hurry.
No.
No.
Oh,
Everybody
They were
was
just
pretty
playing,
festive and
yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
I know,
I-
like.
If I were a senior, and that was my like big moment.
Yeah.
And it was also on the night where you commemorate two of the fallen players. Like,
Yeah, it was
two
like
guys that were lost in tragedies over the past
Yeah.
few years.
we
and
had
so
like hand painted helmets for this game.
those helmets were
Yeah.
dope.
Awesome.
Like,
The ball
just
games
really-
were, or the game balls
Balls.
were given to
Their moms.
Yeah.
Their mothers, yeah.
Do you want to explain what happened to those boys?
Well, all I really know is Ty was before us,
Oh,
so Ty was the first kid that
Hi, Jordan.
we really honor, Ty Jordan, and so he was number 22.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And his best friend was Aaron Lowe, who was number 2. And the year before, we were freshmen. So when we were applying to colleges, basically that year, Ty was tragically killed.
Shot, right?
Shot.
Yeah.
Yes,
At a party where? In Sugar House or
No.
somewhere?
that's Aaron.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Aaron.
that's
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Go on.
Yeah, you are. You slid out of it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Slowly roll, Pops.
Ty was shot. I don't really know the details on that one, just because
You weren't here.
we weren't here. Even the details that they do give out, it's very, very
Yeah, of
limited
course.
anyway. So that was a whole memorial thing. And so when we first got to school, Ty was like already a name that we all kind of knew. And then our parents' weekend last year
Yeah.
was when that happened.
Yeah, so then.
Oh, so it's when you were home.
It was when I was home.
So
Because
you-
I remember I saw
I read
Stephanie and she was like, "Did you hear about Aaron Lowe?" And I was like,
Yeah.
no.
And
I
so.
read about it.
Yeah,
You
last
told me.
parents' weekend, it was like right after the game, I want to say, right? And
It
he-
was.
Yeah, and he went to a party in Sugar House, which is actually like a really
Really
nice
nice
area.
area.
It's like
Like-
an eastern suburb.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Of
And was he friends
Salt Lake
with
City.
Ty?
Yeah, best friend
Best
with Ty.
friends.
So when Ty passed away, he took over 22 or
Oh
2,
my
or he
God.
changed his number. One of 22 or say 2, I don't know, something like that. But he changed his number to honor Ty.
Right.
And so then he was at this party. Someone drove by, opened fire, shot him.
Mm-mm.
No?
No, they walked in and started shooting.
I know.
Wow.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I read this
but
story.
Aaron's girlfriend was also shot. So Aaron's girlfriend was shot.
Did she survive?
She
Yes.
survived.
God
Aaron,
bless her.
I think it was like Aaron was blocking her or
Yep,
something.
That's what I read.
But so someone came in to this house party in like one of the nicest
Yeah, it's
neighborhoods
a nice
out
neighborhood.
here.
It's such a tragic
Yeah.
story because it's like they weren't even in an area that was
Mm.
questionable or they shouldn't have been at a party because you hear that all the time when there's a shooting and there's an athlete. They always say, "Why was the athlete at that party? Why were they at that house?"
Because they're athletes. They go to parties.
I know, but sometimes they go to questionable neighborhoods, and
Yeah.
people always ask that question: Why were they there?
Right.
This wasn't even a questionable
No.
neighborhood.
It's
No,
not.
it wasn't.
It's
So
not. I don't think we can afford a house in Sugar House.
No way.
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he was also shot. So then it was like less than a year apart, I think, between them, and he had taken over Ty's number. So then after that,
That's just insane.
yeah, and then last year we had a lot of like like really special moments in the stadium,
Yeah,
especially
even in the
with
Rose Bowl
home
they had
game.
one.
Yeah, and they always had like either 22 seconds of silence, 22 seconds of loud, or make some noise. There was always something to honor both of them. They have all this like new merch of like the twos and the heart facing each other, and it says like TJ and AL. So it's a lot, and they honor the moms at every game. So the championship, when we beat Oregon last year, the second time, their parents got like the trophy, basically.
Nice.
And like in between the third and fourth quarter, every game we'll do a tribute to them anyway. We'll do like 22 seconds of silence and then family on 3. And we do that every game, but this game was especially important because homecoming, we had our tribute helmets. It was just like pretty much all for them.
So to come out with a W on a night like that,
Yeah.
I would imagine
And
the
especially
players
in that
were not in a
fashion.
hurry to leave the field
Definitely not.
after that. It was a very special night, and I'm a casual watcher. I like Utah. I like watching them play because I have a daughter who goes to school here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If it were not for that, I would casually watch them. Of course, they're a very good team.
Yeah.
Some ups or downs this year, but really special night, really special win.
Yeah, I mean, you had mentioned to me before about the tributes that they do to the boys, so it was really cool to be there
Yeah.
when they did it.
Yeah, I was really happy you guys were there.
Yeah. It was definitely like a win for the city of Salt Lake. I feel like that was kind of the environment that we were getting. Like from Saturday night onwards, it was like everyone in Salt Lake was go Utes. Like,
And then we got mom home and she slept for 12 hours.
Yeah, I know. When we were, I felt so bad because the walk there is always fine, at least for me.
I was just so sick.
The walk back was always brutal. But then we were walking past this one house where it was a ton of our friends, and one of them didn't have a shirt on. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to introduce myself to your parents." I was like, "Okay, go ahead. They just really want to get home."
He was
like,
a nice
think it
guy.
back.
He was like, "I'm sorry, I normally had a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, he's
I
like-
normally have a shirt on."
He
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't.
He
That is
doesn't.
such a lie. This kid
And
is
he's
one.
usually always that messed up.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm normally not like this drunk, whatever."
Like,
He
He
didn't even
is.
seen that hammer though when he was
Oh
talking
my
to
gosh.
us, right?
Oh, he
he
was.
was
He always
adorable. He was adorable.
And he never has a
Mom
shirt.
thought he was a cute boy.
No, he is cute. He's a cute.
He's a sweetheart
He's
too.
crazy.
He's always nice to
He
us
seemed like a
anytime
very
we
nice
see
young
him.
man, although it was weird shaking his hand and looking at his nipples.
Yes, as he's a 19-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
I know when he was like, "I usually have a
Stop
shirt on,"
it.
and he turned to Sierra. I was like, "No, he doesn't."
And we
awesome.
knew he lived in my dorm last year.
Yeah,
So that's
so
how
we
we
knew
met
him.
him. But never has a shirt on. Don't know
Yeah,
what he's talking
that's
about.
awesome.
It was, yeah. So, all right. So anyway, a successful weekend for sure. Yesterday was mellow. I'm sure there were a lot of students who were either A, hungover, B, still riding that huge win, or C, both.
Yeah, all of
and
the
so,
above.
Yeah. So it was nice. I mean, the town's been in an amazing mood for the last couple days.
Yeah, everything's been so peaceful.
Yeah. So, no complaints. I mean, Utah, I was going to say Utah's been good to us, but it has not been good to you. So,
I've just been sick. It's me. I mean, it's not Utah. It's just me. It's, whatever. It's fine. I just want to get better before I get on that plane. And I just wanted to make sure that I was better for Saturday, like that I could rally and go
You
to the
did.
pregame.
Yeah.
What ended up happening, I think, is like that game was so long and I was up in the stands. It started getting windy and it just like, it started happening. Like I started getting sick all over again. So like yesterday morning, it was like going to urgent care. I felt like the same as when I went to urgent care Saturday morning. I was like, wow, like what is happening? I just think it set me back because I was just outside for too long.
Yeah.
That's it. I was legitimately outside for like 7 hours.
Yeah. You did great though. Denise rallied. Denise's mom of the weekend.
Oh,
You
yes.
are mom of the weekend.
Mom of the weekend of all the moms.
I
she
did-
rallied.
she did say at one point, she's like, I got to get to that football game for my baby. So,
Well, when Nan, the neighbor, asked me to do a shot
the
of
fireball
football,
lady.
I know, she's like, you want to do a shot with me? And of course, normally I would be like, sure. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I was just at urgent care this morning. She's like, wait, what are you even doing here?
Yeah. Why are you here?
I know. I felt everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, is your mom okay?" I was like, "Oh, she's fine." I was like, "Just leave her on the chair. She's having a great time watching."
Oh, I was having
They're
a lot
like,
of fun.
"Yeah, I know." And they were like, "Well, I just feel bad. She's not." she's not really doing anything. I was like,
She's
no.
not responsive.
I know. I was like, she's just fighting. She's fighting a gnarly sinus infection.
Fighting an
right
internal
now.
battle, yeah.
And then once we ended up going back to their house later, after we got you guys home, and Aiden asked me, he's like, "How's your mom doing?" I said,
So
"She's
sweet.
okay."
I know. Aiden was the best. So
He was a
Aiden,
nice
the
boy.
boy who had the party, said,
All
to
the guys
me,
are nice.
my dad's a doctor, so if you need anything, I got you covered. I was like, oh, I should have gone to his house right
Yeah,
away.
we should have just went straight there.
Then when we returned to Aiden's house, he chefed us up some tacos.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
instead of
That's a
DoorDashing
good
Taco
friend.
Bell at 1 in the morning,
That's
Yeah.
a really good
he made
friend.
us food, which was
You guys
delicious.
have one heck of a network.
You do.
Yeah.
People that drive to Wyoming for kegs and
Yes.
people who cook late night tacos. That's a
That's all
pretty
you
good
need.
set of
That's
friends.
all you need.
That's right.
How do you guys both, speaking of that, and then we'll wrap this up soon, but
Yeah.
how do you guys like the University of Utah? Like, was it what you thought it was going to be?
I think it's better than what I thought it was
Oh,
going to be.
why?
Well, I came to visit the school, obviously, during COVID. It was like the first trip we did.
Yep.
I really liked the campus. I knew I'd like all my classes. Obviously, I was worried about the social life because compared to my sisters, I'm on the more shy side. But then once I went out with a friend who goes here.
Mm-hmm.
I went out with Miss Emma, and she took me around. I was like, you know what? I feel like I could see myself here, but I still want to keep my options open. Then all the other pros, from like financials to where it is, how close it is to home, even though I didn't want to stay in California. I knew that it would be this like the school that I'm supposed to go to.
Mhm.
I didn't expect to like it as much as I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
From being
That
honest.
just makes it better.
Yeah, and like the city's a huge plus, so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful campus. So I think the fact that it's appealing to look at also makes it 10 times better.
How are the people?
They're
Classmates?
They're good, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a criminology and sociology major, so most of the people are like really cool.
You worked in that double major.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, what about
What about you? What were you? How do you feel about Utah now that you're in year 2?
I was never like set on Utah. I was never
Oh.
like, this is where I want to go. I didn't tour it. I was like, I do not want to go there.
what happened?
Money.
Oh, okay.
well,
it's a
so-
deciding factor for most people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I had been around the university my whole life because my grandparents have lived here my whole life. So, growing up, like, I'll look back at
That's
pictures.
right. You have family in town.
Yeah, and I'll be wearing a Utes shirt
Oh
when I'm like 8.
gosh. That's
But it was never really like on my radar. I always thought it was like a commuter school. I never really thought it was like big social life. And when I was going to college, I was like, I know that I don't want to stay in state, but I know that I want a football school. I want a big school. Like, that was just something that because I love football. That's one of my favorite sports. So I was just like, I want that environment and I
Yeah,
want
of
that whole
course.
situation. So I was going to go to Oregon, University of Oregon.
Yeah.
And I was set on it. Then got the money back, and it was still going to be like $50,000. And I was like,
Yep.
hey, just kidding.
Yeah.
They don't give out scholarships.
No.
They're not generous.
$200K for. They know everybody wants to go there. So
Yeah,
$200K for a 4-year.
Yeah, and then they got rid of WUI, which
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
so the fact that we have WUI here was like. Ding,
For
ding,
those
ding.
of you who don't know, the Western Undergrad Exchange is a program where predominantly Western states, well, not every Western
Not
state,
everyone.
and not every major and not every school, but categorized, if you filter through there, your child, if you live in one of these states, can apply to one of the other Western states, and instead of paying the out-of-state tuition, you basically pay the in-state plus 50%.
Yep.
So in this case, you have the WUI as well, right?
Yep.
You both do.
Mhm.
Okay, so you both accepted your awards
Yep.
coming out of high school, and so basically, rather than paying the $32,000 a year for out-of-state tuition, you're paying the in-state, which is $9,000 or $10,000 plus 50%, so 15%. So basically, you're paying half of what you would be paying.
If you were paying
Yeah,
us.
and so this goes back to the previous episode. I forget what episode Utah was, 4 or 5, something like that. 4, 6. It was episode 6, I think. So,
You're all wrong.
yeah.
The Salt Lake one.
But it goes back to what I say. They do a phenomenal job of not only allowing kids from other states to come here and attend college, but really trying to encourage them to become residents and stay here post-graduation.
But here's the thing: is it doesn't really make sense for us Well, you now, because you don't have a home. Sorry, love you much. Love you guys. But
Shouldn't throw that in there.
Sorry, Mia.
But for me, at least, like, because you have to, in order to have in-state tuition, you have to be paying for a full year without WUI.
Right.
So you can't pay for WUI and still be able to qualify for
It's one or
in-state.
the other.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah, it's
So
one or the other,
you would
not
have
both.
to pay full tuition for 1 year.
So are you going to do that, or are you just
No.
going to stick with the WUI?
Stick
Yeah.
with the WUI.
Mia is too. So when I broke it down in a spreadsheet, and these are just like sort of hard, your sort of brick costs,
Mhm.
not like if, Mia wants to be pre-med and now all of a sudden I have to pay
Yeah.
for a cadaver or something like that. But I'm just talking like tuition, room and board, all that other stuff. And we broke it down for like her moving into an apartment as a sophomore, which you guys did, and bing, 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 all things being the same, the Western Undergrad Exchange came out to about $3,000 or $4,000 more than if we had paid that first year full out-of-state tuition. But then she got her residency in the next 3 years. It was only like $10,000, $11,000, or what it was.
Yeah.
However, ultimately, there was a little bit of braggadocio as a father saying my daughter got this scholarship,
Yeah.
and B, you guys have a grade requirement you have to keep up. And I thought as a parent, that's a fantastic thing for me to keep my kid honest and make sure she's getting those grades every year.
Honorable
So,
student.
yay.
Dean's List, baby.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up this impromptu episode. I bet I have a ton of work to do on the audio for this thing to try and
Yeah.
get
Good
this
luck.
thing up.
I
yeah.
really wish you the
But
best.
I'm really excited we decided to do this,
Yeah, me
that
too.
you were able to rally for
Yeah.
it, and that you two were game to
course.
join us for this episode. We've been wanting to do it for a while. Note to self, bring the microphones wherever you go, because you never know when a podcast is going to erupt. So I know. I did not bring them this weekend, just thinking I was going to be dad on Parents Weekend, and both here we are. So anyway, all right, well, you guys get to take us out. Do you know the
You're a
sign
big
off?
fan. You're so
I just watched them too.
You're so fake.
Empty nest, full tank. See you guys next time.
Good job, Mia.
Thank you.
Good job.
That was great.
Later, people.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.